everybody. I'm the Gulf Coast Granny. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a few weeks since I've posted anything on YouTube. There was some life events that happened, and I guess I owe you guys an explanation, especially for my subscribers who were expecting me to post. It's been about 4 weeks since I've posted anything. The first week, my son was sick. And I thought I was just going to take a week off to tend to him because whatever bug he got from school was a pretty ugly bug. He ended up having to go to the doctor twice for 2 different types of medication so that he could feel better. The second week, my husband and I, Poppy, we decided to move. We decided to sell our house, and we've moved into a smaller place. I don't know if we're going to stay in this place, but I like it a lot. So who knows? We may end up just staying here. We rented it, and our house is selling, so we're in good shape. But the third week, my daughter got sick with a terrible sinus infection, and she missed a few days of school. And last Tuesday, a week ago, yesterday, I had a heart attack. Yep. I still can't believe it. The morning that it happened, I had gotten my kids off to school, and I was trying to put things away in the house because we were still in the process of moving. And I decided that morning to go for a walk. I like to go on morning walks anyway, but that morning I just needed to get out of the mess and listen to some birds and get some peace and quiet. And so I was halfway through my walk and started feeling terrible. My thumb started hurting really, really bad. It felt like somebody was just about to twist it off. And it was hurting right here in the center of my hand. And I kept rubbing it thinking, what in the world have I done? And I figured, oh, you're just old and sore because you've been moving. But then the pain started going up my arm. And by the time it reached my shoulder, it started to feel like somebody had wrapped a fire hose around my chest and was pulling something fierce. I mean, grown men were pulling on it. At least that's what it felt like. So, and then it started to burn really bad, and I knew I was in trouble. I don't know if I was conscious that I was having a heart attack, but I knew I was in serious trouble. So I started walking a little faster, and I remember thinking, wow, if I'm having a heart attack, I probably shouldn't be walking this fast. But I needed to get back to my house because I'd left my phone at home. Because I was thinking, I don't want to be bothered on my walk. I want some peace and quiet, and I just want to hear some nature, right? So, yeah, that was a dumb idea. By the time I got back to my house, I was feeling extremely nauseous and like I was going to faint. And so I decided to call 911 as soon as I got to my phone. So I went in my bedroom and just kind of collapsed on the bed. I never lost consciousness, but I had no energy for anything at that point. I was having a hard time even speaking to the 911 operator. And it was very hard to breathe. And so anyhow, they got here, 911 got here, the firefighters and the ambulance, probably within about 3 minutes. I was totally surprised that it was that fast. And they came in the house asking all kinds of crazy questions, and I'm rolling my eyes thinking, good God, I can't even breathe, let alone talk. But basically they said, asked me if I was in here and asked me where I was, and then they asked me if it was okay to come in, and I'm thinking, of course it's okay to come in, you ding-a-lings, I called you. But I'm sure they have a protocol, so that they don't get accused of coming in somebody's house uninvited or, anyhow. So when they got here, I had to, my hallway back there to my bedroom is not very wide at all, and I'm not sure if they were able to get the gurney in the house. So what I ended up having to do is walk from my bedroom out to the front porch where they had the gurney. And so that was hard. That was really hard. And the gentleman who was helping me, he was touching my skin and he said, "My gosh, you're so clammy." He kept saying it over and over. "Wow, you're clammy. Goodness, you're clammy." And I'm thinking, I know that already. But I couldn't, like I said, it was very hard to breathe and form words. So all this was going on in my head, right? So I finally got laid down, strapped on the gurney, and they put me in the back of the ambulance. And this gentleman, he was so kind to me. I'll never forget him as long as I live. And I still want to call AMR, which is the rescue company here, and find out who that gentleman was, because he really took good care of me. But they put me in the back of the ambulance, and this gentleman started IV lines in both of my arms and was doing attaching leads all over me. And he turned around and looked at the heart monitor and he said, "Well, I think you might be having a heart attack." And I looked at him and finally I was able to speak. I said, "Not today, Satan." He kind of chuckled and he said, "I'm afraid so." And so I leaned my head up against the side of the ambulance and I waited a minute or two and I opened one of my eyes and I said, "Well, aren't you going to take me to the hospital?" Because we were still in my driveway. And he said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "We are." He said, "But they let us do more now in the field than they used to. And what we're doing is we're getting you ready to go. You're going to bypass the emergency room and go straight up to the cath lab because that's what you need." And I said, "Okay." And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. We got to the hospital. It's not far from my house, maybe 5 miles at the most. And they took me straight off. One thing that happened that tickled me, I had my eyes closed most of the journey. And I could tell we were at the hospital because we had started slowing down and they had turned off the sirens. And I heard the driver say, "There's no parking spots." And I said, I remember saying to the guy in the back, are you serious right now?" He said, "Don't worry, we're going to get you off of here." And they did. They drove right up to the front door of the emergency room. I mean, bam, and pulled me off of that ambulance. And we went straight into an elevator and up to the 6th floor. And there was a team of about 8 people waiting on me, standing in the doorway, waiting to grab me. Which I was really impressed with that. The way that they took care of me, they were not joking, and I was extremely grateful for it. So anyhow, they accessed my artery from my wrist here, and they put a stent in the right cardiac artery of my heart. I had 100% blockage, obviously, because I was having a heart attack. But they cleared the blockage, and thankfully, I'm going to be fine. My doctor told me that I was a textbook case of what he wants people to do when they suspect they might be having a heart attack. He said, "You recognized the symptoms, you called for help, and you got here quickly." He said, "That's what saved your life." And I remember thinking when I was laying on the bed talking to 911 that I needed to call them, because if I was having a heart attack, the last thing I wanted was for my son Murphy to come home from school and find me lifeless. And that the thought of that scares me to death. Even now, he's only 10 years old. Anyhow, but I have to go back to the doctor on Monday and get a checkup. I guess they're gonna check on me and make sure I'm taking my medicine, and I've got a lot of medicine to take. I got cholesterol medicine and a blood pressure medicine, and it's not really for my blood pressure. It's to slow my heart rate down. My heart rate's always really high. And also a blood thinner, and I will probably have to take that at least for a year, is what they told me. Some people are able to come off of it and just take an aspirin a day so that the platelets don't stick together in the blood and clog up the stent. Aspirin is good for that, but for right now, for the next year, they want me on this blood thinner along with an aspirin. So I'm taking it, and hopefully I've got quite a few more years left to aggravate the rest of the family to death. But yeah, these are the reasons that I haven't posted. I'm extremely excited to get back to making our cooking videos. I've got some really good ideas for the next, at least for the next week. And, oh, I wanted to mention too that I checked earlier and I have 93 subscribers now. And once we get to 100, which is 7 more away, we're going to do our giveaway. And I'm very excited about that. I'm super excited. I'm going to be giving away some of my favorite kitchen tools, and it's a set of silicone spatulas. And you can use them for baking. You can use them for just about anything you want to. So have your friends subscribe to my channel, share it on Facebook, share it on YouTube, share it in an email, however you want to share it. We're going to try to get to that 100 subscriber mark and make sure somebody walks away with a really cool set of kitchen tools. My son's about to be home from school, so I'm going to end this video, but I'm going to talk to you guys again really soon, okay?